The audio starts with breathing. Not words. Not shouting. Just sharp, tight, shaky breathing. And the faint scrape of a chair on tile. And if you've been following this family, you know immediately that's the sound of people trying not to explode. They thought this meeting would stay behind closed doors. No cameras, no live stream, no comments flying up the screen. Just one private family sit-down after Toni's bombshell confession and Evelyn's chilling threat. If you speak one more word, I will expose all of you. Then the screen went black. The internet lost its mind. And now? Someone has leaked what happened next. You can hear chairs being pulled in, a door slamming, Lydia's voice already on edge, Vanessa asking everyone to calm down, Michael sounding like he hasn't slept in days. And then, that voice. The one everyone recognizes. The one that used to introduce her mother with praise, with pride, with love. Toni. Only this time, she doesn't sound like the composed, graceful star from talk shows and red carpets. She sounds like a daughter whose heart has been stomped on one too many times. A sister who finally sees how deep the damage goes. A woman done being polite. Sit down, mother, her voice cuts through the room. We're not doing your version tonight. You hear a stunned silence. Then Evelyn's low, dangerous reply. And somewhere in that room, unbeknownst to them, a small device is recording every word, every accusation, every denial. Tonight, you are not watching a performance. You are hearing a .family.br eek. And when you hear what Evelyn admits in this leaked meeting, you will understand why Toni finally snaps. The audio clicks, crackles, and then settles into that raw, too real sound that no studio engineer would ever allow. A room full of people trying not to breathe too loudly. Someone shifts in their chair. Fabric rustles. A glass knocks against wood. For a few seconds, that's all you hear. And you can feel it. Whatever is about to be said in this room was never meant for us. Then a voice, low and clipped. Everybody sit down. It's Toni. Not the stage voice. Not the interview voice. This one is tight, scraped thin by disappointment. You can almost see her jaw clenched, her hand flat on the table. A chair scrapes defiantly. Another voice answers, cooler, older. I will not be ordered in my own family. Evelyn. That single sentence, that tone, is all it takes to send the internet into a frenzy. On Twitter, someone posts a short clip with the caption, "Leaked audio, Toni vs. Evelyn." Within minutes, it climbs into trending. People pause their shows, put down their plates, turn up their volume. Back in the recording, a younger voice cuts in. Then don't think of it as an order, Lydia says. Think of it as the bare minimum, after everything you've done. A small, bitter laugh follows Tawanda. Oh. Now we're all brave because there's no camera, she mutters. Where was this energy 10 years ago? Someone probably, Vanessa whispers. Please, can we just talk without tearing each other apart? Michael clears his throat. The sound is rough, like his own confession has scraped him raw from the inside out. We don't get to talk like we used to, he says quietly. Everything's already out there. We can't go back. The air shifts. It's subtle, but you can hear it. The sound of people realizing there is no putting this genie back in the bottle. Then Toni again, each word measured. Mom, we are having this conversation. Tonight. No cameras. No fans. No spin. Just us. You threatened to expose all of us in front of 500,000 people. You owe us the truth. A beat. The faint clink of jewelry. Evelyn crossing her arms. Maybe. Or touching her necklace the way she does when she's thinking. I owe you? Evelyn repeats, cool as ice. I owe you? Lydia snaps. He died calling your name. Her voice cracks on the last word. The audio distorts for a second like someone slammed a hand on the table. You weren't there when Dad died, Lydia chokes out. You were in the parking lot with his brother, and then you lied to all of us about it. The word lied lands hard, like the smack of a door. On social media, the clip is replayed in slow motion. Lydia's voice, frayed and fierce, repeating that line. Fans write long threads about daughters who grew up being told their memories were wrong. Women in their 50s and 60s leave comments under the uploads. I felt this in my bones. Back in the recording, Evelyn inhales sharply. I am not having this conversation again, she says. We agreed. No, Toni interrupts. You decided. You decided what we were allowed to say. You decided what we were allowed to remember. Her voice is rising, unsteady. You can hear her stand up, the chair legs thud. You decided I would go out there and defend you, Toni continues. Years of interviews, years of documentaries, years of me sitting under bright lights saying, my mother never stole from us. My mother never lied. She laughs once, bitter and hollow. And then Michael reads those messages. He reads your words. Hide the will, hide the truth, make Lydia look confused. That wasn't a rumor. That was your voice, Mom. Silence. Heavy as concrete. Vanessa's voice floats in, softer, strained. We all saw the texts, Mom. We saw the transfers. We saw the accountant emails. We saw the note Dad left. There's a rustle of paper. Someone, maybe Michael, slides something across the table. This is what I can't get past, Toni says, voice trembling. He asked you to tell us the truth. In his own handwriting. He didn't ask you to protect us. He didn't ask you to protect the brand. He asked you to tell us the truth. A thump. Someone's fist hits the table. And you buried it, Toni whispers. Just like you buried everything else. On X, a so-called insider posts a blurred photo of a handwritten note, claiming it's the famous letter from their father. Portions are blacked out, but the visible line reads, if there is anything you do after I am gone, let it be this. Be honest with them. The post gets 1 million views in under an hour. In the recording, Tawanda exhales hard. We covered for you, she says. All of us. I sat in Lydia's apartment and told her she was seeing things. I told her she was paranoid. I told her stress was making her dramatic. Lydia lets out an aggravated sound, half laugh, half sob. You told me to stop making stories up, she says. You said I was embarrassing the family. You made me apologize to her. I know, Tawanda whispers. And I was wrong. Evelyn scoffs. Oh, please, she says. Now everyone's a martyr because the internet got involved. None of you were complaining when my control paid for your schools, your houses, your careers. You liked the money just fine then. There it is. The word at the center of everything. Money. Michael's voice hardens. The money Dad left for our kids wasn't yours to move, he says. You changed the will and then told me to lie about it. You benefited from it, Evelyn snaps. Don't you dare pretend you didn't sign the documents. He fires back, louder than before. I signed what you put in front of me after you told me it was temporary. You said, you're the only one I can trust. You said, if anyone asks, we'll say Lydia misunderstood. Lydia's chair scrapes again. You can picture her leaning forward. You weaponized me, she says. You made me the crazy one so no one would take me seriously. You drained my kid's future and then looked me in the face and said I should be grateful. Vanessa's voice breaks through, the peacemaker on the verge of her own breaking point. Mom, they're not making this up, she pleads. I saw the transfers. I saw the emails. The account in Michael's name, that he never opened. Lydia's trust drained, and marked as reallocation. How do you explain that? Evelyn's tone sharpens. I explain it, she says. As a mother doing what she had to do to keep this family from falling apart. Your father trusted me. The courts trusted me. The lawyers trusted me. I did what needed to be done. And you lied about it, Toni says quietly. To them. To me. To the world. You lied and you used my face to sell that lie. Someone shifts. Glass clinks. The tension crackles like static. Toni continues, her voice gaining volume as the dam finally bursts. Do you know what it's like, she asks, to go on national television and vouch for someone who has lied straight to your face? Do you know what it's like to look fans in the eyes and say, "My mother never mishandled our money," while she's moving accounts behind our backs? Her breath shakes. Do you know what it's like to find out that, while I was out there singing about heartbreak, you were in a parking lot with your husband's brother while he died alone? The room explodes. Watch your mouth, Evelyn snaps, sharper than any slap. No, Toni fires back. You watch yours. You started this when you typed in that chat. If you speak one more word, I will expose all of you. Her voice drops into something low and dangerous. So go ahead, she says. Say what you were going to say. Expose us. Tell them what you've been holding over our heads all these years. Vanessa whispers. Panicked. Toni, don't. Why not? Toni turns on her. You can hear the movement, the shift in air. We have all been walking around this house scared of what she might reveal. Scared of what story she might tell. Meanwhile, she's the one who destroyed Dad's last days. She's the one who stole from our children. She's the one who turned us against each other. Evelyn slams her hand on the table. I did not steal. Then what do you call it? Lydia cuts in, voice trembling with rage. Because where I come from, taking money that isn't yours and hiding it is called stealing. I moved what needed to be moved, Evelyn says. I kept this family afloat while the rest of you were too busy chasing fame, chasing sympathy, chasing your feelings. Another small sound. A chair creaks as someone stands. I chased your approval, Vanessa says softly. That's what I chased. The room falls still. I said what you wanted me to say in interviews, she continues. I posted what you told me to post. I defended you when my own friends told me something felt off. I kept telling myself you knew best, that you loved us, that this was how mothers loved. Her voice cracks. And all this time you were just protecting yourself. Someone's breathing hitches. It might be Evelyn's, but it's hard to tell. You think you know everything, Evelyn murmurs. You think one note, one nurse, one leaked clip of audio means you understand what I was carrying. Toni's voice cuts in, controlled again, but only just. Then explain it, she says. Explain the affair. Explain the will. Explain the night Dad died. Explain why Lydia's DNA test exists. Explain why you told me for years that she should be grateful to be here. Explain why you turned Vanessa into your spokesperson and Michael into your shield. The recording crackles slightly. Someone's fabric brushes the mic. Explain, Toni presses, what you meant when you said you would expose all of us. A long silence. So long that if you were in the room, you'd be staring at the floor, afraid to move. Finally, Evelyn speaks. You want the truth? She asks slowly. Fine. Here is a truth none of you are ready for. You can hear her breathing now, measured, deliberate. You think I lied to all of you, she says. But there is one person at this table who has known more than she's admitting. One person who benefited from my decisions more than anyone else. One person who stood beside me on every stage and let me be the villain when she knew the whole story. Her pause is surgical. And that person, she says, is Toni. The audio catches the exact moment the room stops breathing. Chairs creak. A glass tips over. Someone, maybe Lydia, lets out a single, shocked, what? The clip ends there. The leaked audio picks up mid-breath, sharp, disbelieving, almost like someone got punched without warning. The room is frozen. You can feel it through the speakers. Everyone trying to decide whether they heard Evelyn correctly, or whether shock is playing tricks on them. Toni is the first to move. A faint scrape as she steadies her chair. Not to sit, to stand taller. Me? She says, incredulous. You're blaming me now? Evelyn doesn't hesitate. You knew more than you claimed. You always did. Lydia's voice snaps in, fierce and protective. You don't get to twist this, Mom. Not again. But Evelyn is already building her case. Each word sharpened deliberately. Your sister has stood next to me for years, she says. She defended me every time someone questioned the finances. She told producers what topics were off limits. She's the one who signed off on half the contracts all of you claim you didn't understand. Michael slams a hand on the table loud enough that the microphone peaks. She signed because you told her to. You always hid behind Toni. You used her. Towanda adds bitterly. You made her think she was responsible for keeping this family together. Evelyn turns her voice toward Towanda, cold, clipped. And you weren't? You the fixer? Don't start pretending you didn't benefit. Every one of you lived under my roof, ate my food, used my money, and now you want to paint yourselves as victims? Toni shakes her head. You can hear her breathing fast, almost shaking. Don't put this on me, she says. I believed you. That's not the same as helping you. Evelyn laughs a short, humorless exhale. Believing me? Is that what we're calling it? You weren't a child, Toni. You weren't blind. You could have asked questions. You could have refused interviews. Mom, Vanessa pleads. Stop. No, Evelyn snaps. She hid behind me for 30 years. Toni's voice rises, not yelling, but sharp enough to cut through metal. I hid behind you? You gave me answers, and I believed them because I thought mothers didn't lie like this. I thought. Her voice breaks, the last word trembling into silence. Lydia steps in. Don't do this to her, Mom. Not after everything. Evelyn exhales through her nose, steady and chilling. Toni wants to act like she's just now discovering the truth. But she knew Lydia wasn't your father's years ago. Gasps erupt. Even in the audio, you can hear the shock ripple through the room. Toni inhales sharply. I found out 1 month before Dad died, she says. And I didn't know what to do except protect her. Protect her, Lydia repeats, voice shaking. By letting Mom treat me like garbage? By letting her gaslight me? That's protection? No, Toni chokes out. I thought it wasn't my truth to tell. I thought Mom would eventually what? Lydia screams. Eventually grow a conscience? Chairs bang. Someone likely Lydia stands up abruptly. You both kept this from me, she says. Both of you. Lydia, Toni starts. No! Lydia's voice cracks under the weight of years. This family has lied to me since I was old enough to ask who I looked like. Mom told me my father was too complicated to discuss. You, her voice wavers. You told me to focus on my blessings. Another leak hits Twitter at the exact moment this line is heard. A screenshot of an old DM someone claims Lydia sent to a childhood friend. Sometimes I feel like I'm the leftover child. Everyone else belongs except me. The internet loses it. Back in the room, Toni chokes on a sob. I didn't want to hurt you, she whispers. I thought I was giving you time. Time? Lydia laughs. But it's the kind that sounds like breaking. You gave me 15 years of thinking I was insane. That's what you gave me. A muffled sound, someone moving, maybe embracing, maybe stepping in the way. Vanessa's voice trembling. Everyone stop. Please. We're tearing each other apart. But Evelyn isn't finished. You think Toni didn't protect herself? She asks. She did. She benefited from everything. Fame. Exposure. Money. Sympathy. Toni looks at her mother. Disbelief turning into something darker. Are you really that far gone? She whispers. You used me as a mouthpiece. You fed me your talking points. And called it loyalty. You told me to silence Lydia. To calm Michael. To guide Vanessa. And you did, Evelyn fires back. Which means you're not as innocent as you want them to believe. The room erupts in overlapping voices. That's not fair. She lied to you. She manipulated you too. Don't let her turn this. Michael lifts his voice above the chaos. Mom, he says, firm, controlled. Stop blaming them. This isn't about what Toni knew or didn't know. This is about you. What you did. Evelyn's tone freezes into steel. I did what I had to do. For who? Towanda demands. For us? Or for yourself? For this family, Evelyn says. For the name. For the legacy. A hollow laugh fills the room. Tony's. What legacy? She asks. A legacy built on stealing from your children? On cheating on your husband? On rewriting a man's dying wishes? On turning us against each other so we didn't question you? A long silence follows. You can almost feel Evelyn glaring at her daughter. And then, Evelyn speaks softly, too softly. You think you want the truth, she says. But you don't. Because once I tell you what I know about each of you, you won't survive it. That line sends Twitter into meltdown. Fans replay it with captions like, "What does she know?" and "Evelyn is holding nuclear codes." Back in the room, Vanessa whispers, "Mom, what are you talking about?" Evelyn rises from her chair. You can hear the scrape, the shift, the presence. "I have kept secrets," she says, "not to protect myself, but to protect this family from itself." Tony's voice is a whisper soaked in dread. "Mom, don't do this." Evelyn ignores her. "You want confession," she says. "You want truth? Then here it is." She inhales. "Every one of you has lied. Every one of you has done something you prayed would never come to light. Toni included." The room goes still. "What are you talking about?" Toni demands. Evelyn's voice sharpens. "Oh, don't pretend. You know exactly what you did. You know why your father wrote what he wrote in that note. You know why he begged me to tell you the truth. You know the real reason you stopped talking to him 6 months before he died." Toni freezes. Even in audio, you can hear the way the air changes. The way everyone else turns toward her. "Toni?" Vanessa says softly. What is she talking about? But Toni doesn't answer. And that silence is louder than any confession. Evelyn strikes. Toni has been hiding her own secret. And if I open my mouth, the audio cuts. Not fades. Not glitches. Cuts. Abruptly. Violently. Like someone yanked the recording device out of the wall. The leaked audio doesn't resume with voices. It returns with chaos. Footsteps. A chair knocked over. Someone gasping. "Turn it back on, turn it back on." A faint beep. Like someone trying to restart a device. And then, finally, the sound settles again, low, shaky, panicked breathing, as the argument crashes back into focus. "You don't dare!" Toni's voice spits out sharper, angrier than we've ever heard her. "You don't bring him into this." Evelyn snaps right back. "Why not? You brought everyone else's dirt into the light." Michael cuts in. "Stop, both of you. This isn't helping." But Evelyn barrels forward like a woman who's been waiting decades to strike back. "You want to talk about betrayal," she says. "Let's talk about why your father stopped trusting Toni. Why he begged me to fix the situation he walked into." "Toni," Vanessa whispers. "What did she do?" You can hear Toni pacing heels tapping across the floor. Back and forth, back and forth. A trapped animal who knows the door is closing. "I am not doing this," she says through clenched teeth. "I am not letting you twist my life to save yourself." Evelyn's voice drips with venom. "There's nothing twisted about the truth." Lydia slams a hand on the table. "Mom, enough! We're here because you stole our money. You lied about Dad. You ripped this family apart. Don't try to drag her down with you just because you got caught." But Evelyn is calm now. Too calm. The kind of calm that means she's sure she's holding a loaded weapon. "Did Toni tell any of you," she begins, "why she didn't speak to your father for half a year before he died?" Silence. Thick. Heavy. Toni's voice is small, but steady. "That's between me and Dad." "Not anymore," Evelyn answers. "Not when you're all sitting here judging me." Vanessa murmurs. "Toni, please, just tell us." A shaky breath. Toni sounds like she's on the edge of tears or rage, or both. "He wasn't perfect, okay?" she says. "Dad wasn't the saint Mom pretends he was." "No one said he was," Lydia snaps. "But what does that have to do with you?" The room shifts again, air tightening. Then comes Evelyn's blow. "Your sister," she says slowly, "took money from your father. Before I ever did." Gasps erupt. Someone physically stands, chairs scrape violently. That's a lie. Toni fires back instantly. A disgusting lie. But Evelyn continues, her voice poisonous and certain. You took an advance, she says. A large one. Without telling him what it was truly for. And when he found out, he confronted you. He begged you to slow down. To be careful. To let him help you. And instead of listening, stop, Toni says, voice trembling. You disappeared. You ignored his calls. You shut him out. Mom, stop. Toni's voice cracks like shattering glass. Towanda whispers, horrified. What advance? Evelyn answers softly, almost sweetly. For a project that never happened. The phrase hits like a dropped bomb. Online, fans are already speculating. A cancelled album? A failed business venture? Something darker? Old articles resurface, mentioning a shelved project Toni once teased but never released. Back in the room, Lydia asks the question everyone else is too stunned to ask. Toni, is that true? A long silence. Toni exhales a long, broken sound. Yes, she says finally. I took an advance. I was trying to start something for myself. I didn't want to rely on Mom anymore. I didn't want her hands in everything I did. She sniffles. But I wasn't stealing. Her voice rises. And it wasn't a secret. I told Dad about it before the fight. He agreed to help me. He wanted me to have independence. Mom twisted everything. Michael steps in gently. Then why did you stop talking to him? Toni's breath stutters. Because Mom told me he was disappointed in me, she whispers. She told me he said I was reckless, ungrateful, a liability to the family brand. She made me feel like I'd failed him. Several people gasp quietly. And I believed her, Toni continues. Voice breaking. I believed every word she said about him. I thought he didn't want me around. I thought he was ashamed of me, so I stepped back. I thought I was giving him space. Her sobs spill out muffled, raw. And then he died, she chokes, without me ever knowing he hadn't said a word of what she told me. Lydia whispers. Oh my God. Michael murmurs something unintelligible, maybe a prayer, maybe a curse. Vanessa starts crying. She turned you against your own father. She turned all of us against each other, Towanda adds through tears. But Evelyn doesn't flinch. I did what I had to do to hold the family together. You destroyed us, Toni screams. It's the first true scream in the entire recording. It echoes. It shakes. It tears. You destroyed us so you could stay in control, she cries. You spun stories. You manipulated us. You made us think we were crazy, ungrateful, unstable, anything to keep the truth buried. Evelyn's reply is icy calm. The truth, she says, is that without me, none of you would have anything. Michael loses it. Without you. Dad built that money. Dad built that home. Dad built the life we had. You burned it down. And you made us light the match, Lydia adds. Vanessa's voice trembles. Why, Mom? Why did you turn us into your soldiers? Why couldn't you just love us? For the first time, Evelyn's voice falters. Because love wasn't enough, she says quietly. Love doesn't protect people. Love doesn't secure legacies. Love doesn't keep children safe when the world is waiting to tear them apart. Toni scoffs through her tears. No, Mom. Control does. That's all this was. Control. A beat. Then Toni's voice shifts slow, haunting. You said earlier you'd expose all of us. Fine. But now it's your turn. You can hear her step closer. Her heels tap softly, deliberately. Tell them, Toni says. Tell them why you really drained the accounts. Tell them why you rewrote the will. Tell them who you were protecting. I was protecting you, Evelyn snaps. No. Toni's voice drops to a whisper sharp enough to cut skin. You were protecting him. Silence. Not stunned. Not confused. Terrified. Lydia whispers. Him. Who? Toni inhales deep, steadying. The man you were with the night Dad died, she says. The man who helped you hide money. The man who coached you on how to get legal control of everything. No, Evelyn breathes. No, Toni, don't. But Toni is unstoppable now. Years of swallowed truth finally erupting. You weren't protecting the family, she says. You were protecting your lover. The room erupts, gasps, shouts, someone crying. Who? Lydia demands. Who was it? Toni whispers the last line so quietly the audio barely catches it, but the internet certainly does. Mom was protecting someone who's still in this family. The world holds its breath. Chairs scrape. Someone stands. A voice deep, male finally speaks from a corner of the room that's been silent until now. We're done here, he says sharply. Gasps. Screams. The recording cuts. If you're sitting there in absolute shock, heart racing, palms sweating, replaying that final voice in your head, you are not alone. The world is frozen right now. That last moment, those 3 words, "We're done here," didn't just end a family meeting. It ripped the lid off something far deeper, darker, and more dangerous than anyone expected. Someone in that room, someone we never heard until the end, has been protecting Evelyn. Someone she risked everything for. Someone she lied for, stole for, shattered her children's trust for. And now that voice, that undeniable presence, has stepped out of the shadows, and the leak ended before we could hear anything else. If you think this was explosive, if you think this family couldn't get any messier, any more heartbreaking, any more twisted, just wait. Because whoever that man is, whoever has been hiding behind Evelyn while she took the blows, he is about to become the center of the biggest scandal this family has ever faced. And you do not want to miss what comes next. So before you scroll away or get swept up in the chaos exploding across Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook right now, hit like, push this video into the algorithm so the truth cannot be buried by Evelyn's PR team. Comment whose voice you think that was, who you believe Evelyn has been protecting, and what you think she'll try to do next to silence the story. And above all, subscribe. Turn on your notifications. Because the next episode is already brewing. And when the identity of that man is revealed, when the family comes back together, or falls apart for good, you'll want to be right here, watching every second. The biggest secret hasn't dropped yet, and it's coming.